Every light you see, every screen you touch, every breath of progress we take as a species is powered by something that costs far more than just money. For generations, our entire global civilization has been built on a simple promise: access to energy. It's the lifeblood of our economies, the engine of our cities, the quiet hum behind modern life itself. We built our world on fire, and now we're starting to fear the smoke. To prosper, every nation on Earth chases a seemingly simple goal, a triad of prosperity: energy that is cheap, secure, and clean; affordable so that businesses can grow and families can thrive; secure so that the lights never go out, and our way of life isn't held hostage by global events; and clean so that the very progress we build today doesn't destroy the world our children will inherit tomorrow. It sounds straightforward, doesn't it? Yet, this perfect balance, this energy triangle, may be humanity's greatest and most dangerous contradiction. It's a prize few can grasp, and even fewer can hold. Let's start with the most basic element: price. Sweeping across the globe, you see it. Megacities glowing like jewels against the night sky, intricate webs of highways pulsing with light, factories roaring to life day and night. This is the visual symphony of the modern economy, and it runs on a colossal amount of energy. But as our thirst for growth demands more and more power, the fundamental laws of economics kick in. The price of that power begins to climb. Suddenly, the promises of endless, affordable energy start to stretch thin, and we begin to see the cracks forming beneath the very foundations of our growth. Stock exchanges flicker with anxiety. Politicians give speeches full of strained optimism, and on the streets, frustration boils over into protests against rising fuel costs. The illusion of cheap, limitless energy is beginning to shatter. This brings us to the second pillar: security. Energy is never just a technical matter of watts and joules. It is political. It is geopolitical. Every single tanker navigating the Persian Gulf, every pipeline crossing a continent, every shipment of fuel arriving at a port carries with it the invisible weight of diplomacy, alliances, and global tensions. Think of it as a worldwide tug-of-war. We see fast cuts between massive tankers, European gas terminals frantically trying to secure their winter supply, and bustling Asian coal ports feeding their industrial machines. The flow of energy is the flow of power, and nations will go to extraordinary lengths to control it. History has shown us, time and again, what happens when that flow is disrupted. From the oil crises of the 70s that brought economies to their knees, to modern-day conflicts and supply chain breakdowns, a single rupture can send shockwaves through every corner of the globe. A pipeline sabotaged, a shipping lane blocked, a nation hit with sanctions. These aren't abstract headlines. They have real, immediate consequences for the price you pay at the pump, the cost of your groceries, and the stability of your job. The quiet rumble of our industrial engines can quickly turn into a frantic, heartbeat-like percussion of a world on edge. And what is the price of that security? Nations spend billions, trillions to defend the very energy sources they burn. We see military escorts shadowing oil tankers through volatile waters, a stark and expensive reminder of how fragile our system is. We are guarding our future by, in many ways, participating in a cycle that could destroy it. It's a profound irony. The immense resources spent protecting fossil fuel routes could be invested in the very alternatives that would free us from this dependency in the first place. This is the paradox of security, defending a system that makes us inherently insecure. This struggle for energy also exposes one of the deepest inequalities of our time. For some, in the glittering capitals of the world, electricity is about convenience. It's about charging a smartphone, streaming a movie, or cooling a home on a hot day. But for millions, perhaps billions of others, electricity is a matter of survival. It's the power needed to run a medical clinic, pump clean water, or simply have a single light bulb to study by after dark. Yet, whether for convenience or survival, Both draw from the same finite global source. And as that source becomes more contested and expensive, it's always the most vulnerable who are left in the dark. This leads us to the final, most urgent point of the triangle: clean energy. We all talk a good game. We speak of green revolutions, of sustainable futures, of a world powered by the sun and the wind. We see the hopeful images: gleaming solar panels stretching across deserts, elegant wind turbines spinning against the horizon. But often these images flicker, transitioning from a coal plant belching smoke one moment to a pristine wind farm the next. It's a visual metaphor for our own conflicted reality. We declare our green ambitions while our hands and our economies remain stained black with oil and coal. Consider the dilemma faced by a country like Australia. It's a nation with incredible renewable resources, and it's taking steps to close its own coal mines at home, embracing a cleaner domestic future. Yet, simultaneously, it ships millions upon millions of tons of coal abroad, fueling the economies of other nations. Is this hypocrisy? Not necessarily. In the cold, hard calculus of the global market, it's simply economics. A nation must balance its environmental goals with its economic survival. This is the trilemma in action. You can't just flip a switch. The transition is a messy, complicated, and often contradictory process playing out on a global scale. So here we are. We've built an entire civilization on fire. For centuries, it gave us warmth, light, and unprecedented prosperity. But now we stand, looking up at the sky, and we fear the smoke. We find ourselves caught in an impossible bind, trying to balance the unbalanceable. We need energy that is cheap enough to fuel growth, secure enough to ensure stability, and clean enough to guarantee a future. Achieving one of these goals is hard enough. Achieving two is a monumental challenge, but achieving all three at once, that may be the single greatest test humanity has ever faced. As we float away, looking back at our glowing, fragile planet, we must ask ourselves, can we reinvent the fire that made us before it consumes us? From high above, we see our world, a single, shared atmosphere, a fragile blue marble swirling with clouds. But as we draw closer, the picture shifts. We see the scars of our ambition: vast oil fields stretching to the horizon, pipelines snaking across landscapes, and gas flares burning like defiant torches against the night. Pollution knows no borders. Norway's oil, China's coal, America's cars, all burn beneath the same sky. Every molecule of carbon released in one corner of the globe becomes part of the air we all breathe. The wind that carries seeds of life also carries the fallout from our relentless pursuit of energy. We are inextricably linked, bound together by the consequences of our consumption. There is no away to throw things. There is only here. We gather in polished conference halls under bright lights, making bold promises. We speak of carbon neutrality, of green transitions, of a sustainable future. We sign accords and celebrate diplomatic victories. Yet, just beyond the pristine facade of these climate summits, the drilling rigs continue their work, unceasing. The gears of the old economy keep turning, powered by the very fuels we vow to abandon. This is the great illusion of clean growth. We pledge to reduce our emissions at home while quietly exporting them elsewhere, outsourcing the environmental cost to nations desperate for a piece of the prosperity pie. We draw lines on maps, but the atmosphere doesn't recognize our jurisdictions. The math of our survival never balances when the ledger is cooked, when the real costs are hidden in plain sight. And what are those costs? Look closely. See the water rising in our city streets, turning familiar avenues into murky canals. See the earth itself, cracked and parched from relentless drought, where farms once thrived. Witness the ancient glaciers, titans of ice that have stood for millennia, now weeping into the sea, their melt a silent, steady drumbeat marking the passage of time. This is the fragility of our progress. When our very definition of growth, of prosperity, is fundamentally dependent on the fuel that threatens our existence, that prosperity becomes a countdown. Every new skyscraper, every booming stock market, every record-breaking quarter is built on a foundation that is slowly, but surely, eroding beneath our feet. We are racing towards a finish line we never intended to cross. So, we arrive at a precipice, a moment of truth for our species. The future choice is ours to make. In laboratories, brilliant minds work tirelessly, seeking breakthroughs in renewable energy and carbon capture, racing against time. On the streets, a new generation raises its voice, demanding action, accountability, and a future they can believe in. In corridors of power, leaders hold the pen, with the capacity to sign deals that could either lock in our fate or chart a new course. The fundamental question we must answer is this: can our economic systems be redesigned to serve life? Or must life continue to serve the insatiable demands of an economic model that has brought us to this brink? The clock is ticking, and the decision rests with all of us. As a new day dawns, the sun's first light washes over a quiet earth. In the distance, wind turbines turn with a slow, silent grace, harvesting power from the air itself. This is not a scene from a distant utopia. It is a glimpse of a possible reality, a choice still within our grasp. The survival of humanity is not a cost-benefit question to be debated in boardrooms. It is not a line item on a balance sheet. It is the ultimate investment, the only one that truly matters. Because when all the profits have been counted and all the resources have been spent, the only asset left will be the world we leave behind. The real profit is survival. Thank you for watching. If this message resonates with you, please consider subscribing and sharing this video. Let's continue the conversation together.